Section 7.2.2 Recon with Nslookup Part 2. Tools to research a domain's DNS records can give us a lot of information, including all IP addresses for their internet-connected servers, mail server information, if the domain is owned by or associated with another organization, and types of software used by the organization. These can include things like Adobe, GitHub, or their antivirus brand. Just like we saw with the Whois records, DNS records can be mined for a lot of valuable reconnaissance information, and each piece of information that we find could be the starting point for a successful attack on the domain. For example, maybe we'll find an IP address for the domain that we didn't know about before. Or if our specialty is attacks on Outlook mail servers, we could fine-tune our DNS recon to only look for this feature in domains. Let's look at the tools used to harvest this information from DNS records. Nslookup is used in a terminal or command line to get information about a domain and its IP addresses. There are also online tools available. Nslookup is used in Windows or Linux, and an alternative command in Linux is the dig command. It is perfectly okay to use the nslookup command on any domain, as this is a passive tool. Nslookup and dig are not hacking tools. They are command line interface tools that are built into Windows and Linux and are regularly used for network troubleshooting. There are small differences in the results produced by Nslookup and dig. We will focus on Nslookup since it is installed in most operating systems. When you are using Nslookup for reconnaissance, you will use type to expand the information that Nslookup provides. Using only A will return information as an IPv4 address. This is the default when using Nslookup. AAAA, 4 A's, will return information as an IPv6 address. However, many organizations don't use this type of address. An interesting piece of reconnaissance you will find with this search could be other addresses or networks that belong to this domain. MX will return information on mail servers and specifies the server that handles the mail. SOA returns the administrator information for the domain and whether there is a parent company or connection to another organization. TXT returns the text that is included in the DNS records and identifies details about software used or malicious information. Possibly the most interesting type of all of these is the TXT DNS data. It is typically used to provide verification details to vendors or sources outside of the domain. Many providers, such as Google or Office 365, often require a special verification code via TXT records to be added to your DNS zone. That way, you prove to them you are the actual owner of that particular domain name. If a hacker knows that your company uses Slack or some other software, then they could research CVEs and Google Docs to see if there are any vulnerabilities and attacks that work through Slack.